Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our press conference. We had made great success today. We reviewed all scenarios. We settled on scenario of Algeria, which was worked out by all of us over the past few weeks, and with the cooperation and understanding of all member countries, we have been able to reach an agreement. This agreement is out of the sense of responsibility for OPEC member countries, for non-OPEC countries, for the general well-being and the health of world economy. We responsibly considered all factors. We considered the need for catalyzing the supply and demand process, which ultimately help the industry to revive and the industry to come back and reinvest in the oil production capacity in order to secure the mid-term to long-term security of supply of this important source of energy. We considered all aspects, and we came to the understanding that the market needs to be rebalanced. Rebalancing the market would need courageous decisions from OPEC and with the support of some key countries of non-OPEC. OPEC met today. OPEC agreed on a scenario we will explain, but also OPEC has been in contact with key non-OPEC countries who gave us the support and the commitment to participate in this kind of agreement. In summary, the agreement that OPEC reduces approximately 1.2 million barrels a day to bring its ceiling to 32.5 million barrels per day, effective 1st of January 2017. After this long discussions, we agreed also to share that reduction among OPEC countries. We took into consideration that some countries needs special consideration, and we did that successfully with unanimous agreement. And some, or at least one country, this is one country, only one country, which for reasons we can understand, that is Indonesia. They are net importer, so they could not participate, and they suggested to participate in the reduction, and they would like to freeze or suspend their membership. And as you know, suspension of membership will mean that they will re-study again, and they can come back in a smoother manner rather than withdrawal. They are not withdrawing, they are suspending their membership, and it's mainly because they are net importer, and they think that they will face difficulty in participating in the unanimous agreement of OPEC decision. And this agreement is subject to the 600,000 barrel per day reduction from key non-OPEC producers. And through our discussions we received with the key non-OPEC countries, we received support and pledges to contribute to that 600,000 in addition to the 1.2 from OPEC. And I'm glad to report that Russian Federation already committed to reduce 300,000 barrels. Other countries have also showed commitment, and we will call for a meeting to finalize this very element. And by now, perhaps another similar press conference in Moscow to address this point of support to OPEC move, which will result in getting the market rebalanced and get catalytic effect to rebalance the market. We have also established a ministerial monitoring committee which consists of 3 OPEC countries, namely Kuwait to chair it, Venezuela, and Algeria. They will work closely with the OPEC Secretariat. OPEC Secretary will give them the full technical assistance to closely monitor the implementation of and the compliance with this agreement and report to the conference. This is basically the summary of the agreement of today. This is a major step forward, and we, with my colleagues, we think that it is a historic moment to come to this agreement, which will definitely help in rebalancing the market, and it will help reducing the stock overhang. I take it as an opportunity to thank my colleagues who reserved no efforts in making this meeting a success. With this, I would like to open the floor to questions, and I will start with this gentleman. He raised his hand first.
Thanks, sir. Can you address the issue?
Can you identify yourself, please?
This is Paul Sankey from Wolf Research in New York. This is Paul Sankey from Wolf Research in New York. Can you address the issue of so-called secondary sources and what was agreed at the meeting about that issue? Thank you.
Secondary sources will be the basis for, yes, for the monitoring of the production. Yes, in a nutshell.
Andrew from Reuters, please.
Yes. Andrew? please.
Andrew from Reuters.
Hello, Mr. President and Secretary General. Did the issue of Donald Trump and what his policies with regards to the Middle East, the possible reimposition of US sanctions on Iran, a major producer obviously in the group, did that come up in discussions either today or over the last few days?
Well, we are considering the market conditions, the supply and demand, the stock overhang, but we don't, to be honest with you, speculate fully what would be the policies of different countries, including the United States. But we are sure that whatever we do in OPEC is in line and it is to the interest of all. We take into consideration the interest of the consumers and the interest of producers as well as the economy. We think that having a rebalanced market will benefit all. Fair price will benefit all. It will definitely move the economy to a healthier inflation level, which is not up to the 2% stated by many countries as a target, including United States.
Bloomberg, please. Bloomberg.
Thank you, Javier Blas from Bloomberg News. A couple of questions, if I may, Mr. President. One question is if you could clarify exactly what the new floor for production is now that Indonesia membership has been withdrawn, whether it's 32.5 or that's a different number. And the second question is we were here almost 2 years ago and OPEC embarked into a production policy that is very different to what you adopted today. I just wanted to know if 2 years later you think that what you did was a mistake or actually has worked, what has been the lessons. And if I may, a third one, is OPEC going to publish a detailed table of the production targets of every country? Thank you.
Last question is the easiest. Yes, there will be a table. Now, do we regret the policy? In fact, it wasn't, I wouldn't classify it as a policy. It was a reaction to market circumstances and to the best wisdom of OPEC. They react based on parameters they have, based on analysis from OPEC and sometimes with analysis from external think tanks. And we discuss and debate what is best. But never came to our mind that we are, if you like, regretting what we did. I think what we did based on parameters we had in hand, and we think what we did in OPEC has also advantages that production of oil and gas became, if you like, in a more rational manner. We became more rational in expenditure. We looked for ways and means to make our industry profitable at lower oil prices. It's also there was a lot of high-cost producers. They reviewed the situation. They became more rational in their production, etc. But we are reacting to realities rather than, if you like, looking at back and regret or praise our position or anything like that.
Yes, the gentleman over here, please.
It's still 32.5.
Hi. This is Abhishek Deshpande, Natixis. I didn't quite understand this floor at 32.5, especially with Indonesia's exclusion, because I believe that 32.5 would have made sense with Indonesia being in it. With Indonesia at 1.2 out, or roughly around 700, how do you explain? How do you explain? Square that up, especially with them being out? How is the floor still being at 32.5? Can you explain that? And my second question is the non-OPEC's cut of 600 binding? What happens if non-OPEC doesn't comply? Is OPEC still going to continue with its 1.2? And is it completely independent of non-OPEC? Even if they are giving you the promises, is it a binding or is it a non-binding agreement?
Well, I'll take the last question. All indications, in fact, that we will get an agreement. In fact, by now, the news will be actually from Russia, and we received also through the communication today and over the last few weeks, we had intensive communication. Many countries are prepared to cut, and the 600,000, we think it is even modest. Out of that, Russia will take 300,000 barrel a day of reduction. As you know, Russia, in support of our initiative, though their position there previously was to freeze, but they said they are committed to do more than that and reduce by 300,000. We have other countries, and you will see them. Maybe we will suggest a meeting on the 9th of December, and Doha invites them. Qatar invites for the next meeting, but we are open-minded about other venues for this meeting. But we are that far, and we think that we are almost sure that we will receive the agreement. So, okay, okay, please.
Yes, let me explain. Initially, Indonesia was requested to reduce by a certain amount, and since Indonesia couldn't accept that reduction has been distributed among the other countries. So the effort is still there, but taken by the other countries. Now, the 32.5 is still an OPEC 14, which means Indonesia in it with the October level.
Yes. Any more questions, please? Yes. The economist, please. The economist.
Hello, Henry Trix. Henry Trix from The Economist. Two questions, if I may. Just a clarification. You said that the cut of 1.2 million barrels a day was subject to the 600,000 cut by non-OPEC. Do you mean that literally? So if, for some reason, between now and the next meeting, non-OPEC does not agree on 600,000, then your agreement today on 1.2 million doesn't hold? That's my first question. And my second question is, how much did Saudi Arabia agree to cut? And was it a disproportionate share, or was it an equal share to the other members who cut? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we have non-OPEC almost committed. The only thing is that they are not member of this organization to commit on their behalf. But I gave you a statement with regard to Russia, and I can tell you other countries are in the same commitment, and it will be clarified. But the cuts here of 1.2 and the 600, we believe it is very much achievable. With regard to Saudi Arabia, there will be a table to be distributed to you, and I think that Saudi Arabia will cut. Yes, they will take the biggest. And according to the table in front of me, if I am right, they will cut around 468. But you will be 486,000 barrel a day. But the table is going to be handed to you all. One more.
Mr. Peter, BIW, please.
Yeah, Peter Bild, no longer PIW, but never mind. Question. You said there is a table with actual numbers on them. Will they be described as allocations or quotas or temporary limits or some other terminology?
Thank you very much. I think the question is very relevant. It's we called it adjustment, but without prejudice, obviously, for any other decisions later on. Or they are not quotas, but these allocations. It's adjustment for the coming 6 months. We will come back and review it. And we allowed in the agreement for the rollover of this agreement for 6 more months. So the monitoring committee, which consists of 5 countries, supported by the Secretariat of OPEC, will submit a report. But they will continuously monitor, and they will also suggest reaction to the meeting, which is likely to be the 29th of May, the next meeting, 24th, 26th, or 25th, May 25th. We will meet again, and that meeting is mainly meant to review the monitoring committee report, and the intention actually is to extend it for 6 more months. Thank you.
All the members agreed that the same numbers that apply for the next half year should also apply for the second half of next year?
I didn't see objections, but that is for next meeting. But at least, okay, thank you. One last question.
One last question from Dr. Mahdi, analyst.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Mahdi Ali. I'm professor of economics at American University here, Webster University in Vienna. Mr. Chairman, some analysts think that when oil production declines, there will be an increase maybe in prices, which will not benefit OPEC, but benefit the shale oil producers. What do you say to those analysts? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, we don't very much, differentiate. When we talk about oil production and who will come and who will go, it's the idea actually is to have to take measures to get the market rebalanced. We're not saying the rebalancing is gonna come from the OPEC, purely from OPEC. Yes, their contribution will be from OPEC and some key members of non-OPEC, but producers outside, they will react to the price, and they will see their position, etc. But we cannot see a threat, if you like, of shale gas, if you refer to shale oil, and because again they will look at how much it will cost them to and what the affordability of the cost, etc. They will do it anyway without us interfering. But we are considering, to the best of our knowledge, considering mechanism of rebalancing. But we think that this measure will help rebalancing. There will be also expensive producers, not only shale oil, but it's nature that they will see whether they can afford it or not at any point of production.
Last question, please, from CNN, John.
Hassan, thank you very much. It's a question for both the President of OPEC and the Secretary General. You tried in Doha in April, again in Algiers in September. Now we're looking at an agreement finally. For the naysayers who said that OPEC couldn't deliver a deal, what do you say today? And to the non-OPEC players who didn't think you would deliver, can they actually deliver 600,000 barrels of cuts after this move by OPEC?
We think with the commitment shown by many non-OPEC that we think that we can get the 600. Out of them, 300 from Russia. By now, I think we were asked to announce that to you, and they will announce it themselves. Other countries also, we believe they showed commitment, and we will invite them to the meeting, and we are sure that we will get the 600 and maybe more. If possible, we will agree with that. The first question, excuse me?
Yes, many were wondering whether OPEC was still relevant if it couldn't deliver on a firm cut and get consensus. What do you say to the naysayers today?
I think OPEC is still OPEC with its all what it's established for, and as you know, without OPEC presence and without OPEC efforts, successful efforts to gather momentum between OPEC and non-OPEC, I think if OPEC is not there, we wouldn't have such an agreement reached. Sense of also responsibility with many non-OPEC countries is also felt. And you see, while we have an organization is called OPEC, but the amount of coordination and the amount of meetings with non-OPEC countries made them, if you like, just as if they are part of OPEC. And what counts is, if you like, is the actual tangible movement rather than purely organizational movement. It's OPEC is what had gathered the momentum. OPEC has taken the biggest share, while OPEC is 1/3, but they are taking actually much of the share of the cut. That means the weight of OPEC and the resilience of OPEC is still there, and it will continue to be there. And today's unity is a very explicit sign about the position of OPEC. And with that, I thank you very much. All the best to you. Thank you very much for coming and interacting with us. Thank you.